Yesterday was Juneteenth, and Venus Williams and Frances Tiafoe made us proud with their wins and milestones the past few days. First, starting with Big Foe, Francis cracked the ATP Top 10 for the first time after picking up his third career title in Stuttgart. Tiafoe took out home crowd favorite Jan Lennart Struve 4-6, 7-6, 7-6, saving a match point in the process. With the milestone, Francis now joins fellow American Taylor Fritz in the world's top 10, making it the first time in 11 years that two U.S. players, male players, have been inside the men's top 10. Francis is also the third black man in history that has cracked the world's top 10 and is the first since James Blake, when he did it over 14 years ago. Side note, I tweeted about this and Francis actually noticed it and he quote tweeted it, so it's cool that I can officially say that my favorite men's player noticed me. Shout out to you, Big Foe. When speaking about his achievement, Tiafoe told reporters after the match, "This is super emotional for a guy like me with my story and everything. I'm a guy who shouldn't even really be here doing half the things he's doing, and now when you say his name, you can say he's top 10 in the world. So that is something that no one can take from you, and I'm going to remember that forever, and hopefully I can ride that for a long time." Looking back at how Francis got here, he won the International Orange Bowl title at just 15 years old and broke into the ATP's top 100 3 years later. In 2018, he broke inside the top 30 after winning his maiden title at the 2018 Delray Beach Open. The following season, Tiafoe had his first major breakthrough moment at the 2019 Australian Open, where he reached the quarterfinals. Francis soon after, though, struggled with form and difficult draws, eventually falling outside the top 80. Tiafoe particularly struggled with maintaining focus during matches, but he found that perfect blend of work and play last year when he upset Rafael Nadal en route to the US Open semifinals. He's maintained that solid form thereafter, and he won his second title in Houston on clay earlier this year, before of course winning here in Stuttgart. Looking ahead to Wimbledon, which starts in a couple of weeks, Francis can play well on any surface, but grass might low-key be his best. He made the second week at SW19 last year, and he upset Tsitsipas in round 1 the year before that, so with his high ranking, perhaps he could get a decent draw and go even further this time around. Now, kind of transitioning to the other aspect of this whole moment with Francis, people complained that Tiafoe's match was not shown on Tennis Channel, and they had to pay for Tennis Channel Plus to even watch that final match while the Birmingham Open WTA Finals were going on the main channel. I am actually interning at Tennis Channel for the summer, so I'll try to kind of ask around of why that was the case, that Tiafoe's match was not shown on the main stage, because I think it's ridiculous, because American, going for the top 10 spot, playing in a final, I feel like definitely should be on the main channel, but maybe there are broadcasting rights, that are put in play, but I'll definitely ask. Anyways, focusing on the Tennis Channel internship for just a little bit, I'm giving myself my own flowers. I'm really excited for this journey for the summer, and I just simply can't wait for what's to come. And that does not mean that I'm going to neglect the channel at all. I'm actually going to probably post more than ever on this channel, so everyone get excited. Now, along with Francis's top 10 triumph, a major story for yesterday was Venus Williams' outstanding 3-hour-plus 3-set win over Camila Giorgi as she took out the Italian 7-6, 4-6, 7-6 at the Rothesay Classic in Birmingham. Venus came out and played tremendous tennis in that match as she quickly went up 3-0, but she soon after hurt her knee pretty badly, and it looked like it was curtains for the 7-time major champion, who even started crying at one point. Venus also slipped and fell later in that first set, and Camila still celebrated when she won the point, which she really does, by the way. Williams clearly did not appreciate that, as she gave Giorgi a mean stare down afterwards. V kept plugging away at it and managed to snag the 72-minute opening set before dropping the second. Venus once again raced out to a 3-love lead in the decider and went up 5-2, being 2 points away from the win on multiple occasions. Now, once it got to a tiebreak, I was almost certain that it'd be another heartbreak 3-set loss for Venus, but she once more showed that trademark resolve and fight, and she sealed the W on her second match point. It just never gets old seeing Venus Williams celebrate after a win like this, and it's very significant because it's her first top 50 victory since 2019. She just turned 43 years old 2 days ago, and to do what she's doing at her age with the autoimmune disease and practically playing on one leg, nobody, and I mean nobody, has the passion and the love for the sport that like Venus does, in my opinion. Nobody does. I always knew that Venus had what it takes, even at this stage in her career, to take a few names like she did yesterday, because the game and the talent are both there. But the main thing has been her health and her body being able to hold up and withstand. I know earlier this season she had a good start to the year when she won her first match at the Auckland Open, the SB Classic, but she kind of blew her hamstring in that match with Lin Ju, and she unfortunately had to miss about 6 months of action. And she just returned to the tour last week at the Birmingham Open, where she lost to 17-year-old Celine Neff, a Swiss player. And then after she lost that match, even though Venus was 2 games away from winning the match, people were already writing her off, saying that if she's losing to a 17-year-old, nobody, then why is she still playing on the tour? There are a lot of people coming in for her. And even though people were doubting her, Venus never, ever, ever doubts herself. And she showed that to yesterday with that incredible win. She still got it. I'm running out of superlatives to describe Venus, because like I said, she was literally playing on one leg and still hitting incredible serves. She probably served her second serve as best as I've ever seen it on one leg. Maybe, that's crazy to say, but maybe she needs to, have a knee issue for a while, because I've never seen her serve her second serve that well, like hitting, strong kick serves, and even her first serves, blowing aces past Giorgi's, even in the 110s and even 120s, just absolutely incredible. In the forehand too, I've never seen her, well I have, but I haven't seen her hit her forehand that cleanly in a minute. All in all, it's just great to see her back and in the winner's circle, so we can give her flowers. I love you, Venus, and I'm so proud of everything you've accomplished, not only yesterday, but in your entire career. Going back again now to the past week of action, I want to briefly mention our other title winners from Saturday. Ekaterina Alexandrova defended her title in her Hertogenbosch, beating Veronika Kudermetova in the championship. Meanwhile, in Nottingham, Katie Boulter reigned supreme in the Battle of the Brits, taking out compatriot Judy Burrage for her first career title. On the lower level, Andy Murray earned his second consecutive title on the Challenger Tour, only dropping 1 set in that 2-week stretch. And then another comeback man, Kenny Nishikori, won his first tournament back after taking a 20-month-long break, claiming the ATP Challenger in Palmas del Mar. Looking ahead to this coming week, the Birmingham 250 event, of course, is going on, where Venus is playing. She'll now meet second seed Yelena Ostapenko next in the second round. Barbora Krejcikova is the top seed there. In Halle, the top 2 seeds Daniil Medvedev and Stefanos Tsitsipas progressed in their opening matches. Young guns Carlos Alcaraz and Holger Rune are the highest ranked players at the Queen's 500. Alcaraz, by the way, made an interesting statement yesterday, or the day before yesterday, saying that Nick Kyrgios had the best chance of defeating Novak Djokovic at Wimbledon this year. Kyrgios himself feels the same way, saying, "If it's not me, no one can beat Novak at SW19. Nick definitely has way too much dip on his chip there, as he hasn't even won a match all year, and he just withdrew from Halle due to a left knee injury. All the best to him, but I'd be surprised if he even made it past the second round at Wimbledon this year with how his body's been breaking down. Now, to round out this video, I do have to highlight some sad news, as former world number 2 Anett Kontaveit announced that she'll be retiring from professional tennis. Kontaveit took to Instagram early this morning, telling fans that she has lumbar disc degeneration in her back, which prevents her from competing on tour as normal. The Estonian says this year's Women's Championships will be her last tournament before officially hanging it up. I just feel very, very bad for Anett. She just had such an incredible stretch, especially towards the end of 2021. I believe she won 3 consecutive titles in a row, which enabled her to qualify for the year-end championships, where she finished runner-up. And her prospects were looking really good. And she ultimately, those results towards the end of 2021 brought her to that career high of world number 2. And she kind of struggled, especially after getting to that point. And a lot of people attributed that to the pressure and just not being able to handle the increased expectations. And that could be the case too. And I know she had long COVID too last year towards the middle of 2022, which also impacted her. But clearly now this back injury is impacting her the most, as it's obviously causing her to retire. And it's just sad because she has the game and she's just very, very talented. But unfortunately, you just never want to see it come down to a player's body not being able to carry them to, maximize their full potential. And also do want to thank Anett. I'm a Serena fan. I want to thank Anett for allowing my girl to have her moment in the sun and having that last, big win at last year's U.S. Open. I really appreciate you, Anett, for that. And she's just such a nice personality, nice woman. And it's going to be, I'm just sad for her that she's not able to finish necessarily the career on her own terms with her body breaking down like it is. But a great career for her, and I wish her the best for her future endeavors. That's all I have for this video, and let me know in the comments below how you feel about Frances and Venus's big on-court achievements, plus Kontaveit's retirement. Also, make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever I post new content. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.